Welcome to KMET 1490 AM ABC News Radio and the Southern California Business Report with Yvette Walker, a show dedicated to highlighting successful Southern California businesses and the people behind them.
Welcome and thank you for joining Southern California Business Report on ABC News and Talks, KMET 1490 AM, 98.1 FM, and KMET TV. I'm Yvette Walker, live blasting our signal from the center of Southern California, serving a population of over 25 million. Get us crystal clear and on demand by downloading the free live streaming app on Google Play and the Apple App Store. As always, a huge shout out to the team, Mitch, Bill, and Sean. I love you guys. And to our special advisory committee, which can be found at www.scbrtalk.com/advisory committee. Take a look, learn about these incredible leaders in Southern California, and learn all about them. Today, I have the distinct honor to introduce Major Isaias Braga. He has been a Salvation Army officer assisting the needy for almost 25 years. He and his wife, Major Adelma Braga, are U.S. citizens who speak 3 languages: English, Spanish, and Portuguese. He was born in Brazil and has previously served the disadvantaged in Torrance, Redondo Beach, Broomfield, and Fort Collins, Colorado, as well as the Seattle metro area in Renton, Washington, and overseas in Brazil. Major Isaias presently oversees Salvation Army operations in San Bernardino and 11 other cities. His background includes large grant administration, a variety of social service casework with the homeless and families experiencing food and housing insecurity, large food bank operations management, multi-million-dollar budgeting responsibilities, and character development programs for children, to name a few. Major Braga is motivated by a desire to assist others and feels himself lucky to have many opportunities to serve in our communities. Thank you so much for being with us here today, Major Braga.
Well, I appreciate the opportunity to join your audience today. It's a pleasure to be here.
Beautiful. Well, Major Braga, as you know, the first question I ask every one of my guests is to please share your journey, what it was that inspired you to pursue this position alongside the Salvation Army here today.
Well, career of Salvation Army officers are not exactly a career. I see more like a call from God. As we see it as something that is supernatural. And I say it because in a career, you work basically to pursue your progress, your self-development, while in a calling, your work is conveyed beyond yourself. So your goal becomes not your goal, but becomes the goal of others, where you work to help them succeed in life. This is appealing and it is an inspiration. That is rewarding, that is moving. But that's what moved I and my wife towards officership in the Salvation Army.
Wow. So my understanding is this all started in your living room. Please talk about the origins of your work.
Well, the history when I came to the Salvation Army, or you're talking about the history of the Salvation Army?
Of your work.
My work
Yes.
started with the Salvation Army was we were planting a Portuguese-speaking church in the city of Torrance in the year 1993. And the group, it was a Portuguese-speaking group. It was a group of Brazilians that were in South Bay Area in Los Angeles. And that we overgrew our living room capacity, so we had to find a church or a place of worship. So we were walking and trying several opportunities. Then we crossed in front of the Salvation Army facility in Torrance. And my wife took a look at the building and she says, "Hey, honey, this is a church, isn't it? It's a building. And I saw, well, the Salvation Army, and I thought, well, this is the Salvation Army. It's an evangelical movement, a church that has a wonderful, strong social services." And she said to me at that point, believe it or not, she says, "This is the door that the Lord is going to open for us." And I kind of said, well, maybe. But she said that out of her own experience. She had attended the Salvation Army for about 3 years when she was a child, and she lived close to one of the Salvation Army facilities. She have been a beneficiary and attended the programs there, so she knew what type of people she was mentioning. And sure enough, we came to the Salvation Army. The doors were open for us there, not only us, but our entire congregation. So long story short, that Portuguese-speaking group became the first Portuguese-speaking group in the Salvation Army here in the Western Territory, and is now located in the city of Redondo Beach in California.
Wow, that is remarkable. Who would have ever thought, right?
Yes, yes.
So, since you shared your background coming into the Salvation Army, please share the background of the Salvation Army itself. In our conversations, I was astounded to learn of how long it's been around and established.
Wow, the Salvation Army was founded in 1865 by Methodist minister Reverend William Booth during the dark Victorian days in East London in England. William Booth and his wife Catherine Booth dedicated themselves to preaching the gospel to the destitutes of society, to the poor, the drunkards, the prostitutes of East London. Multitudes were transformed by his ministry. And William Booth was not only concerned with their souls as he was preaching the gospel to them, but he was concerned to the whole being of, the humankind. So he also provided other goods, clothing, showers, food, counseling. And that's when became the idea of soup, soap, and salvation. So he organized the Salvation Army in a quasi-paramilitary structure where ordained officers are ministers of the gospel and administrators of programs. The sergeants, like in any other church, the sergeants are assistant to the officers, like deacons of the church in any evangelical organization. And the soldiers are the members of the organization. But our strong arm is the volunteers. We would not exist without the volunteers. So the Salvation Army movement spread quickly, arriving in our neck of the woods here in San Bernardino in the beginning of 1888, right after the Santa Fe Railroad extended their tracks coming from Los Angeles. We came with them here in San Bernardino. And I think I can rumbly say that maybe we are the oldest organization serving the last destitute in our communities for over 135 years nonstop. Well, the Salvation Army is in 135 countries. We just got in another country about a couple of weeks ago. And we proudly say that the sun never sets down on a Salvation Army flag around the world.
Wow, that is remarkable. And so please share with us again the mission of the Salvation Army since its inception in 1868.
Yeah, it has never really changed. The mission statement says the Salvation Army is an international movement, is an evangelical part of Universal Christian Church. Its message is based on the Bible. Its ministry is motivated by the love of God. Its mission is to preach the gospel of Jesus Christ and serve humankind in his name without discrimination. It hasn't changed since.
Wow, that's so beautiful. And since then, the programs that are being offered and created by the Salvation Army have only multiplied. Please talk about, some of your programs, because going on your website, it's expansive. Please share some of the programs you're focused on today, Major.
All right, that's a long one. Well, the Salvation Army has a whole myriad of social service, as you could notice in our websites, provided to the population where you can find a Salvation Army unit. But here in our area, specifically in our chapter, our unit, our core, as we say here in our units, we call them cores. We here serve San Bernardino, Redlands, Highland, Rialto, Loma Linda, Houghton, Yucaipa, Calimesa, Bloomington, Mentone, Grand Terrace, Muscoy, and also the mountain communities of Lake Arrowhead, Big Bear, and Running Springs. One element that it's very coming on scene too much recently is human trafficking. prevention program. Well, we have this programming it's part of all Army units because we deal with the most vulnerable people on the street and underprivileged. It's not uncommon for us to face with a strange situation of people running, strange situation, being victims of suspicious activities. Well, to prevent that, the Salvation Army, we partner with local agencies, and the goal is to help raise awareness with local and international partners, coalitions, and non-governmental organizations. And through these prevention activities, we reduce vulnerabilities and demanded for forced labor and commercial sexual exploitation. We pursue the safety and justice for those who are victims of trafficking and offer holistic support and social service to survivors. For you to have an example, this outreach is kind of dynamic. Just in 2021 alone, we, with the Salvation Army, helped almost 9,000 trafficking survivors in our facilities around the country.
Wow.
It's a huge number. It's a small number considered the size of the problem that we face, but it's something, and we are working towards that.
Wow,
Well, here in San Bernardino, we operate out of 4 buildings that's coming to our neck of the woods here. We operate out of 4 buildings, 3 in San Bernardino and 1 in Redlands. We have a warehouse where we stock all the donation food items, Christmas toys. We do the sorting and distribution of toys and food during Christmas and weekly over there too. The other building we have is a hospitality house that has 5 service initiatives. At that building there, we have an emergency shelter for endangered women with children or families facing homelessness. They can stay in that situation for 90 days, and then they can be kind of upgraded to the other program we have in the same building that we call the Transitional Living Center, which is kind of the next chapter towards rehabilitation, where they can stay there for about 1.5 to 2 years, working while children go to school. They get a job to restart their lives until they get back on their feet and leave us for their independent journey. Presently, that in this program, we have about 90 people, and about half of them are children who are with their families on the streets. Out of that hospitality house, we also serve a daily supper for about 100 and 120 people daily, from Sunday to Friday, 6 days a week. We also have from that a street outreach program. We have a van with supplies and resources that will go where the homeless are, and we casework them, get them water, some immediate food, help them with paperwork to obtain documentation, find a suitable shelter or program that can help them to help and break the cycle of homelessness. Also, still part of that program, we have a transitional living center for men that come our adult rehabilitation center and after they finish that 6-month free program to get sober, we offer the opportunity to come to this transitional living center where they will find jobs and get back on their feet again and live for their lives. This is in San Bernardino. Here in Redlands, we have weekly food distribution where we serve over 100 families per week. We offer showers for the homeless, between 80 and 100 people per week. We also offer rent assistance to prevent homelessness and to support families in financial distress. Also, we have utility assistance here while we try to alleviate the strained finances, and also what's very important, to keep their dignity. Not to mention church services, right? The Salvation Army it's a Christian organization, and we have church services, pastoral support, Sunday services, men's fellowship, women's ministry, Bible studies, all of that. So I guess kind of cutting a little bit short, this is what the Salvation Army is doing in our neck of the woods.
Wow, it's such a comprehensive and complete service to the community. You know, when you talk about the needs of a human, right? For the sustenance, for shelter, for their spirituality. I mean, you're basically covering all the bases.
Yes, we try to, our clients are basically people who month after month are trying to make ends meet, who are in completely financial distress, people that are facing poverty, food insecurity, homelessness. Those are the folks that come through our doors and looking for services.
Wow. Do you have an idea of how many people, how many families you've been able to assist during your 25 years with the Salvation Army?
Well, oh my, I know that here easily in all the programs that we have here, we serve about 12,000 people per month. 12,000 people per month. So when you start adding the food distribution, people that come through our doors for all assistance, the people reach out on the street and their dependent families, kids, it's a lot of people.
Oh, that's remarkable. What a blessing to be able to help so many. And as we all know, and we're all being reminded of, anytime we walk into a store or listen to something on the radio, we understand the holidays are approaching, right? We have Thanksgiving, we have Christmas and New Year's right around the corner. Please talk about what the holidays means to the Salvation Army and its efforts surrounding its programs.
Well, holidays such as Thanksgiving and Christmas are the core of our most intense activities everywhere in the Salvation Army, and I would say around the world. It's when the underprivileged families suffer the most because they're not able to provide a decent meal for their families, their children, or they are not able to purchase toys for their kids. In order to help those during that season, we have some programs here running during this time of the year. We have toys and seasonal food distribution. We also, interesting, we partner with the Redlands Airport Toy Drive. They collect the toys and the kids go there, and they even take the kids for a flight around Redlands in an airplane, and we distribute food with them. There is a partnership with the Redlands Airport here in Redlands. We have the Angel Tree program. You might have heard about it, where kids of our clients, when they are interviewed in an intake interview, that child became an angel tag that you see hanging in our Christmas trees located in the Inland Mall here in San Bernardino or at local Walmart stores. People stop by our trees, they pick the tag from the tree, purchase toys for those kids, bring the toys to us. We get them together, we sort and distribute them in a big distribution a couple of days prior to Christmas. It is really a priceless experience. And also, we have another program that's called Adopt a Family program, in which organizations or fortunate families adopt need families that we have listed in our list of clients and provide them with food, clothing, toys for their children. All right, so it's very remarkable. Well, and not to mention the bell ringing program. Right, we collect donation in front of authorized stores to raise funds not only for Christmas but for our year-round programs. And talking about bell ringers, we need volunteers for our bell ringing location. Please call us at 909-792-6868. 909-792-6868. And just tell us, I would like to ring the bells with my family, with my group, with my friends. We'll give you a call back and set you guys up. And, but as I said, we cannot do anything without our armed volunteer. Also no organization, no government organization, churches, individuals, they can get in touch with us too if they want to do group meetings and have fun in the store while they help us to put meals in a table of poor families. Please give us a call again, 909-792-6868, and say, we'd like to ring the bell here in San Bernardino. We'll hook you up.
I love it. I love it. So speaking of that, please talk about what those traditional kettles and bells mean when we see them in front of the supermarkets, because those go back too. They have a historical part of the Salvation Army, and it's beyond collecting money.
Well, the tradition of kettle bells it started in the 1800s in San Francisco, when the Salvation Army Captain McAfee, that was assigned to the San Francisco area, he wanted to give Thanksgiving meals to the poor in that location. What he did was he placed a tripod with a kettle, and he put a sign saying, keep the kettle, or keep the pot boiling. Keep the pot boiling. And they start collecting donations. And he was able to feed over 1,000 people just by doing that. And this idea of fundraising and this fashion became usual in the Salvation Army, and it spread throughout the country. You know, in our bell ringing program locally, we partner with local stores. We keep this tradition going. And, you know, as you know, with volunteers, we keep on going. But this is the history behind. It's a tradition. We need those funds to support needy families, especially at this time of the year when things became more sentimental or emotional, and families are straining to make ends meet.
Right. So is there a story that you can share with us that you can speak to recently that has impacted you during your time serving as the major for the Salvation Army of the San Bernardino Corps?
Well, there are many. We see those every day. But recently here, just to let me report to one that happened here in our hospitality house. And we have the family of Jose. Jose was a family that came from the street. They were living in their car, experiencing homelessness, you know, food insecurity. And he was admitted at our hospitality house initially as part of our emergency shelter program. While with us, Jose and his wife got a job. They enrolled their children in the school, and they had 6 of them. They saved their money. So, and as part of our program in the hospitality house, when we receive a family, we kind of teach them about how their responsibility with the money, how do they administer or they manage their income so they can just run for what is necessary. And the family progressed towards the transitional living center. So there they stayed after about a year and a half of being in our hospitality house. They left us with the key of their own property in their hands. So that was remarkable. Jose left for his house. He was able to give the down payment, and he moved to his house with a job, his wife with a job, kids in school. So this is our goal, is to break that cycle of homelessness. You know, we can give food to people many, many times, but how will they leave that situation? That's what is our focus, and what impacts us the most is this the breaking of this cycle. When you can support and actually see it happen, it is very rewarding.
Absolutely. It's the most sustainable option, right? It's like the saying that says you can give a person a fish to enjoy for, you know, a day, or you could teach them how to fish, right? How to do for themselves.
Yes.
So that is absolutely inspiring and a beautiful testament to the work. I especially love the fact that they have 6 children, and, you know,
Yes.
they were able to turn things around.
Sure. Yes. That was fantastic.
Wow. Well, Major Braga, we are coming up on a break, so everybody stick around and listen. Yvette Walker here with ABC News and Talks Southern California Business Report, here today with Major Isaias Braga of the Salvation Army, meeting people without discrimination who assist 23 million Americans annually and serve over 133 countries, comprised of over 1.8 million members, proudly pursuing their mission since 1865. When we return.
Hi, Ray Lance from the Diamond Center in the Claremont Village here. One of the coolest parts of a third-generation family business is getting to know the families we serve through generations. Once you experience our friendly service, our fair and transparent pricing, and our beautiful jewelry that we make to last a lifetime, you'll stick with us too. Come visit us in the Claremont Village or at Lantz, L-A-N-T-Z, diamondcenter.com and see what makes us different.
Hi, I'm Dana Rademacher with MGR Property Management.
A lot of people wonder about the value that property management has for their property. Property management can include all property types, including residential, commercial, and HOA. It is valuable because property managers are experienced in what can happen at your property. We're aware of liabilities. We're able to do predictive and preventative maintenance. We know what is coming up with the changes in the weather, the seasons, how old certain aspects or different capital projects at your property are. We're able to best negotiate contract pricing, legalities with your tenants, and anything else that you may need to ensure that you're getting the full value of your property.
If you're interested in speaking with the representative at MGR Property Management regarding your property management needs, you can visit our website at mgrrealestate.com, or you can call our number at area code 909-581-6600 to be connected with a representative.
Ontario International Airport is onto a better way to fly with over 65 daily nonstop flights to more than 20 major destinations and the easiest airport experience in Southern California. Visit flyonto.com/Ontario to learn more about Ontario International Airport today.
Cal State San Bernardino is home to the only School of Entrepreneurship in California. With globally ranked degree programs, you can start your journey today to become a successful entrepreneur. Learn more and connect at entre.csusb.edu.
The University of Laverne is rated first in California for alumni satisfaction. Learn more about accelerated programs offered online and on campus in Laverne, Irvine, Ontario, Burbank, or College of the Canyons. Visit go.laverne.edu. The University of Laverne. go.laverne.edu.
Hi, I'm San Bernardino County Sheriff Shannon Dykes. If you're looking to start an exciting career in law enforcement and make a difference in your community, we are hiring dispatchers, nurses, deputies, laterals, and many more. For a complete list of our jobs and more information, visit sheriffsjobs.com.
Welcome back, everyone. Yvette Walker here with ABC News and Talk, Southern California Business Report, here today with Major Isaias Braga of the Salvation Army, meeting people without discrimination who assist 23 million Americans annually and serve over 133 countries, comprised of over 1.8 million members, proudly pursuing their mission since 1865. Thank you again for being with us today, Major Braga.
My pleasure. Here we go.
All righty. So prior to the break, you gave us, a background and a description of the Salvation Army, its origins, and some of the programs that it is dedicated to serving our communities with. I want you to take us back to Brazil, because that's where you started. And speaking about over 133 countries, please talk about your beginnings in Brazil with the Salvation Army.
Well, the Salvation Army arrived in Brazil in 1920, and in there with missionaries coming from Switzerland, they started doing this evangelization, or as we say, breaking grounds, or open fire, like in a military term, as we say, open fire against the forces of evil in the southern part of Brazil, and conquering towards the north in 1920. And the Salvation Army is there doing the most good, fighting for good, as we say there in Brazil. We fight for good. Obviously, the resources in Brazil are a little bit more scarce than when we have in the first world countries like here in the United States, where you're able to serve much more people. The need there it's bigger than we have here for many reasons, right? But I had the privilege of serving there in the as part of the territorial staff, working as a government relations officer. I was stationed in Brasilia, the capital of Brazil. And my My job there was to connect the Salvation Army with several levels of government and corporate groups, including federal and state and city officials. I had the privilege of being with the president of the country back then in 2021 and share with him some of the struggles and kind of try to pave the way for the support for the Salvation Army in Brazil. Being also with senators and other federal assemblymen that I needed to try to promote. That was my job, to promote, being a government relations of kind of play the midfield and try to put ends together so we could receive resources. I was able to, while there, give assistance in an emergency disaster service that we had there in the central part of the country, with many people lost their lives due to an immense flood. I mean, weather is crazy all over. We experiment different weather. The climate is going different for some reason, in the last 10 years. And we had a flood in the country there that we were able to work with the local organizations and find food and drive those food in trucks all the way to where the population were, and was a nice and rewarding experience.
Wow, that is remarkable. So you have really served on so many levels, both direct and higher level, to, as you said, secure those resources and acknowledgement of the work that is being done by the Salvation Army. So I know you have a big event coming up, and I just want to bring it up today. So let's talk about your upcoming Red Kettle Kickoff and how that contributes to your work.
My pleasure. Well, tomorrow we'll be having our Cattle Kickoff, Red Cattle Kickoff. The Red Cattle Kickoff is an event that we promote in the community along with city, county, and state official, non-government organization, corporations, and the general public at large. And the idea is to promote the beginning of the bell ringing across the locations in the city. And of course, raise funds for our social programs. And attending every year come CEO from large corporations, city and county officials, prominent members of the community, chief of police, many of those chair of board of Stater Bros, the CEO of Stater Bros will be guest speaking tomorrow at our event. We'll be recognizing advisory board members that serve with us because they love people like we do for over 20 years, 27 years. And our theme this year is Love Beyond Christmas. So it's all ready. We are just finalizing details here and to get going tomorrow in the afternoon. It's a wonderful event to start the bell ringing around the city and the cattle season.
I love it. Major, please talk about the ways the community can support your efforts leading up to the Red Kettle Kickoff and beyond. I know there are financial volunteer opportunities. Please share with us what those opportunities look like.
Well, opportunities for you to help us, of course, is financial contributions. That's what we are after most because we need to survive. We receive grants to apply those grants towards the social services that we provide to the community. But the other end of this is as our load of work increases, we get those grants to increase the service to the community. At the same time, we need to exist. We have operational expenses that we need to take care of that goes along with everything that we do, but we need to continue existing. So if you're like an old guy like me, you like to send checks, please send your checks payable to the Salvation Army. In the memo of the check down there to bottom left, you write Red Cattle Kickoff or just Red Cattle. Write that in there and send to P.O. Box 26, Redlands, California, 92373. P.O. Box 26, Redlands, California, 92373. and make checks payable to the Salvation Army. Well, you can go also on our site, sanbernardino.salvationarmy.org. That's an easy one, right? sanbernardino.salvationarmy.org. Or you can also contribute in our site that it's sbcsva.org. sbcsva.org. And of course, we have volunteer opportunities. Ringing the bell, volunteer to ring the bell with your family, have fun over there in the locations that we have spread across our community. Just give us a call, 909-792-6868. You're going to get this before we end today. 909-792-6868. Give us a call. As I said, we're going to hook you up in one of the locations.
I love it. I love it. And I love that you're able to pursue this mission alongside your wife. Please talk about how that's impacted, your life and what that means to you to be able to carry out this mission and, serve the community the way that you do and connect them with God.
Yeah. See, my wife connected the Salvation Army back in Brazil for a couple of years. When she lived there, as I said, but here in the United States, we joined the Salvation Army, as I said, in 1993, and it has been a wonderful journey and a rewarding journey. As I said, our mission it's a call from God. That's what we feel. We have that opportunity to see the success of other people and see how people move from one stage of their lives in suffering and pain and moving to a more stable situation where they can get a job, where they can feed their family, and even to the point where they can help others. I have here in my staff several workers that came from the Salvation Army social programs, either adult rehabilitation center, transitional living centers. They made their way through to those situations, addictions, and all. They got sober for 10, 20, 30 years, and they got back on their feet. And today they work alongside in the Salvation Army, defending the programs and making sure that the program succeeds. So those are the best staff to have. So and I'm fortunate to have those alongside me here in San Bernardino, Redlands, and all this entire region. So it's a rewarding program. We really are happy to be here.
I love it. I can only imagine the conviction that comes from the people that have been through your programs that want to be able to give back and help others that are in the situations they started off with when they came to the Salvation Army. I can only imagine how remarkable that must feel for them.
Yes, and I can say they have the best counselors. when we have to adopt a measure or change something, they've been through it. They can now measure this works, that does not work. Let's do this. Why don't we do that? And I have had the privilege of working people who had walked the path. So it's very good.
Absolutely. So they're not just talking the talk, they actually did the walk, which takes on a whole new dimension.
They certainly did the walk, yes.
Absolutely. So please talk about future efforts of the Salvation Army in its future for the community. Okay.
So we have in our, I'm sorry. As I mentioned, here we serve our community out of 4 buildings spread across San Bernardino here in Redlands. And without removing our reach from the cities that we are already serving, it is our idea to move towards a location where we can compile all the services in one centralized location. Most likely would be in San Bernardino downtown, where the need keeps increasing rapidly. And this will potentially enable us to promote a synergy among the programs while we'll be able to cut costs and operate more effectively.
That's remarkable. So you said you currently have 4 sites and they're strewn about Redlands, San Bernardino. What are the other areas again you mentioned?
Yeah, we have 12. We serve 12 cities here in this area. We go from Yucaipa to the mountain communities all the way, crossing Redlands, San Bernardino, Loma Linda, Grand Terrace, Colton, Rialto. It's a huge area.
Yeah, that's remarkable. So, Major, please share a little bit about the feedback that you receive from participants of your program, people that come back and say, wow, thank you, or just the feedback in general from community members, from stakeholders that support your organization.
Well, they come to us with words of thanksgiving and appreciation for what we do, and it is rewarding to see when we are giving like a toy for a child, or giving a food box to a family who otherwise wouldn't have.
Right. So
nothing to eat.
Right.
You
Absolutely.
see?
Yeah. And that's a transformational moment for anybody,
Yes.
right? From
Yes.
having nothing to having a hand, reached out to assist them, to pull them up from, sometimes it feels like, I'm sure, like they're in an abyss, lost, forgotten, destitute. But when you have a hand reaching out to them to lift them up, I can only imagine just the feeling, right? The relief, the encouragement, the excitement, everything that comes with that.
It is what I say. Sometimes we feel more blessed than they feel. That's why I told you it is a call from God. And when you are in the right place where God placed you and you're doing his job, you'll be happy. He will provide. The Lord will take care of you, will take care of those around you. And it's just a blessing.
Absolutely. So again, Major Braga, please share with our audience today, what are the best ways to connect with you in the Salvation Army and support your efforts?
Okay. You can call us, as I mentioned, 909-792-6868, right? Or you can send me an email, isaias.braga@usw.salvationarmy.org. isaias.braga@usw.salvationarmy.org. Or you can connect with us in our site, sanbernardino.salvationarmy.org, right? Or sbcsva.org. You can also get in touch with that, send us an email, and also give us your contributions so you can help us to make a family happier this season, upcoming season.
I love it. So everybody listening, don't forget to look at your local Walmarts and find those tree tags with the names of children and families. Pluck them off, go purchase something in the store and bring it back to the Salvation Army. And when you see those red kettles and bells ringing out there, drop something in, anything. Keep that red kettle boiling with love and support for these families in need throughout our region and around the world.
Wonderful. And as you bring your toys back to us, you will take them back to the where you pick the tag at the angel tree. Please bring them unwrapped. We'll take care of the wrapping later as we work the distribution, the sorting, and everything. Please stop by, grab your child, give him a toy, drop some money in our kettles, because as you do that, your changes will bring change to our community.
I love that. And so, Major Braga, please share what you are most looking forward to as we enter into 2024 alongside the Salvation Army.
Well, Our our goal is to expand our service that we render to our community, of course, in maybe in a relocated location. And that's number one, expand services because need is just increasing, no way back.
Mhm.
And the other would be to be financially sustainable, continue offering support to our neighbors in need. That would be what would be after most in 2024.
I love it. I love it. Thank you so much for sharing your time with us, for talking about your work and educating our audience on the history of the Salvation Army and its really integrated roots throughout the world. I don't know about the listeners, but I've seen the Salvation Army from the time I was a little girl, always in front of, the supermarkets, ringing the bells with the red kettles. And to me, I thought it was, a group of very friendly people that were collecting money for the needy. Never did I understand or appreciate the depth of the work that has been done for centuries now, right?
Yes, and I would like to invite you and in anybody in your audience that would like to pay us a visit at our hospitality house. We would schedule. It would be a pleasure to have you, Yvette, and your listeners, whoever wants to pay a visit to see in local what is done there. It is really moving.
Absolutely. I would love to. I will take you up on that invitation, Major Braga, and we will coordinate it after this program. Thank you so much for your heart. Thank you to your wife for her heart, for your combined mission in serving our communities.
We do appreciate it's been a privilege being here with you, Yvette, and your audience. God bless you. Thank you for this wonderful opportunity to share about Salvation Army here in San Bernardino and across the world.
Beautiful. Okay, everybody listening, don't forget to find us on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, and Instagram. Check us out on scbrtalk.com. Don't miss my interview with Diane Smyers, the Donor Relations Manager for CASA of San Bernardino. Now, CASA again stands for Court Appointed Special Advocates and has worked with CASA of San Bernardino for 6 years and served as a volunteer with CASA for over 15 years. Diane currently heads the Donor Relations Department. Her overall work has been focused on sharing CASA's mission and vision, developing community and individual partnerships to increase giving and donations to CASA. Diane began her career with CASA in the Community Outreach Department, recruiting and training community volunteers to mentor and advocate for youth in the foster care system in San Bernardino County. She has led marketing and giving campaigns and focused her efforts on the west end of San Bernardino County. Next week, we will have Jeff and Seth Burham, a father and son duo. Jeff Burham is managing partner of the Empire Strikers, the indoor soccer league that plays at the Toyota Arena in Ontario, and is the chairman of National Community Renaissance, also known as National Core. In 1991, using his own resources, Mr. Burham co-founded National Community Renaissance in response to the need for affordable housing in San Bernardino County. 5 years later, wanting to provide more than shelter to low-income families and seniors, he co-founded the Hope Through Housing Foundation to offer programs and services that transform the lives of residents. Today, National Core is one of the largest national nonprofit affordable housing developers in the country. His son, Seth, was born and raised in the Inland Empire. Playing soccer his whole life, Seth played for Legends Football Club and Los Angeles Football Club, Cosmos Football Club, Golden State Academy, Loyola High School, Marymount, California University, and UC Riverside. He has a bachelor's degree in business marketing and began working for the Empire Strikers franchise in 2022. His devotion and belief in the Empire drives him every day to work towards getting the club its ultimate goals and vision. You do not want to miss it. We will see you all next week.